what can be said about this legend, this Hall of Famer, that everybody else has said? I didn't know what to expect, what to say. Um, I didn't know about this until this morning, before I went to work. Check on Facebook. Most of my friends mentioned the passing of the Ultimate Warrior. I didn't want to believe it first, so I waited till I came home from work. Looked at my Facebook, looked over the internet. It's true. My childhood idol passed away at the age of 54. Ultimate Warrior, otherwise known as Jim Hellwig, otherwise known as Warrior, um, passed away last night. I no words. I can't explain my emotions right now. I've what can I say? He was my first person that I marked for. Everything about the character was amazing. His beliefs made everybody else believe. My first memory of the Warrior, Ultimate Warrior, back at SummerSlam 1988. He appeared for Honky Tonk Man as the mystery opponent for the Intercontinental title. He squashed Honky Tonk Man in 30 seconds. Became the Intercontinental Champion. Nobody thought that he could be championship material. And yet, he brought prestige to that title. I remember his feud he had at the end of '88 goes to 1990, well, SummerSlam 1990 that ended. He fought Ravishing Rick Rude first for the Intercontinental title, which he lost to Ravishing Rick Rude at WrestleMania 5. Regained it a couple months later. Then it was the big picture. Nobody thought it was coming. Royal Rumble 1990. We saw Warrior and Hogan, same ring, same time, in the actual Royal Rumble. In my opinion, that was the best Royal Rumble, just because of that, of the energy, the anticipation. I've seen two of the greatest baby faces of that time, in the same ring, same time, go one-on-one in the Rumble. People thought that we wouldn't see that match. And we did see that match, WrestleMania 6, powerful title. Hogan putting up the WWF title. Warrior putting up the Intercontinental title. In my opinion, it was probably one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. Besides Savage Steamboat WrestleMania 3. Um, most people were Hulk Hogan fans. Me, I was an Ultimate Warrior fan. Still. Forever. I was so happy to see Ultimate Warrior win the WWF title against Hulk Hogan. Clean, may I add. Because nobody else has ever done that. Beat Hogan clean. And his greatest moment in WrestleMania 6 Skydome, Toronto. It is a great feeling. Ultimate Warrior ended up holding that title for almost a full year. Till he lost that title to Sergeant Slaughter, Royal Rumble 1991. That set up a whole feud between Warrior and Macho King Randy Savage that ended up being a retirement match for the Macho King Randy Savage back in WrestleMania 7. And Warrior had a little mini feud before he left the first time. He left the WWF. He had a feud with The Undertaker. I remember the match he had with Undertaker, Madison Square Garden. It was a live show. It was a body bag match. Warrior ended up winning. Feud continued. And we saw before he left, he had a vignette, a couple of vignettes actually, with Jake the Snake Roberts, and it ended up being a double cross. Jake Roberts was had an alliance with the Undertaker and Paul Bearer. Warrior disappeared after that. He came back for a second time, back at WrestleMania 8. It was supposed to be Hulk Hogan's last match, retirement match, against Sid. And Papa Shango helped Sid attack Hogan after the match. Hogan won that match. All of a sudden, he heard Warrior's music, and now he ran in a different look. Most people speculate it was a different Warrior, and yet it was wrong, and it was the exact same Warrior that we saw at first. There was only one Warrior. Um, Warrior helped Hogan. Then we saw a feud, probably one of the worst feuds, um, between Warrior and Papa Shango. Um, Storyline wise, it was good. Once the match started, um, all of a sudden Warrior disappeared again. Um, Forgot to mention before he left the first time. SummerSlam 1991. It was a handicap tag match where Hogan and Warrior teaming up against Sergeant Slaughter uh, and his two guys. I don't remember off the top of my head. Um, Supposedly, Warrior threatened the company for money. Vince gave him the money, so Warrior did what he did. Then after that match, Vince told him that he was fired. So that's why he came back at WrestleMania 8 for the second time. So after the feud he had with Papa Shango, he left the company again um, for appearances that he didn't make. And supposedly it was the death of his father, which most people didn't believe. Um, he came back one more time, back at WrestleMania 12, fought Hunter Hearst Helmsley in a squash. Uh, Warrior did a couple more appearances, then left the company again. First one I remember, he had a match, King of the Ring, against Goldust. Um, Basically, it wasn't even a match. It was just Warrior playing mind games on Goldust because Goldust was playing mind games with everybody else. Goldust left the match. Warrior ended up winning by a countout. Um, then there's supposed to be a six-man tag. That never happened. It stood up an international incident. It was supposed to be Shawn Michaels, Heartbreak Kid. He was the WWF champion at the time. Teaming up with Ahmed Johnson, who was the Intercontinental champion back then. And Warrior going against Vader, Owen Hart, and British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. That match I wanted to see, but it never happened because Warrior didn't make appearances and got suspended. So they had Psycho Sid take Warrior's spot. Wasn't the same. Warrior disappeared again. Then he finally showed up, I believe, at the 1998. Was it 97? It was like one of those years, 97, 98. Halloween Havoc. Well, before he made Nitro appearances. But he had his match again with Hulk Hogan. Was explained by many as the worst pay-per-view match of all time. Can't really say because it's true. It was one of the worst pay-per-view matches of all time. Even though Hogan tried to ruin it worse by throwing a fireball. And he did terrible. He threw it in his own face. But Warrior did a couple more appearances in WCW after that. Then they finally let go of the Warrior. Warrior, from my understanding, did one more appearance outside the United States. Supposed to be his retirement match back in 2007, 2008, I believe. He fought uh, the champion of that organization, Orlando Jordan. Um, the match wasn't good, but just Steve Warrior with the face paint, him being his character, um, running down to the ring, being gassed out, him shaking the ropes, still from my childhood. That was good to see, but the match wasn't good. Warrior ended up winning the match, became the champion of that organization for that one day. Um, then we finally seen Warrior back in WWF, or WWE now, this year for the Hall of Fame, 2014 WWE Hall of Fame. He was inducted by Linda McMahon, of all people. I didn't understand why, but it made sense when she spoke. Um, I was so happy to see Warrior being inducted. Um, his speech, uh, there's everything he spoke of about past, about being on the road, about having his own character, about naming himself as the Warrior, being the Warrior is his real name, about everything. Then we see him the night after the Hall of Fame, WrestleMania 30. Uh, so great to see. He was a star of that Hall of Fame, in my opinion. They made one last appearance. It was this last Monday night at Raw a couple nights ago. Basically spoke the same words he did the Hall of Fame, just spoke a little differently. Then, last night, passed away at the age of 54. I can go on forever to speak Warrior, but the words won't do it justice. It won't. I will miss Warrior, as I said before. He was my childhood idol. He was the very first wrestler I marked out. Rest in peace, Warrior. You will be missed. God bless him and his family.